You guys are delightful. All right, so today we are on day 2 of Trig. It's going to be a lot easier than yesterday. What's really nice, all of our SOHCAHTOA rules are the same. Okay, so you don't have to memorize that. What we're going to do today is we are going to be using inverse functions. Oh, well, that's now in the recording. We're going to be using inverse functions. So everybody grab your calculator. I want you to find where it says our sine, cosine, tangent, and you guys see right above those words, do you see how you have those inverse ones? Yeah. So today, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to hit second and then those buttons so you can get them, okay? So yesterday, we were using our trig rules, so sine, cosine, tangent, to help us find sides. Today, we use these because they help us find angles. Okay, so that's why we have these inverse trig rules. Okay, so all of our same rules apply. So today we have this angle. We're trying to find it. This symbol just means angle. You can change it to x's. That's okay. This right here, as we remember from yesterday, this is our hypotenuse. And that means this one is our adjacent. You guys can talk, it's fine. That's our adjacent. So if I'm given the hypotenuse and the adjacent from our rules yesterday, that means we're going to use cosine. We're going to write it just like we did yesterday. So I'm going to say cosine. Do we know our angle? No. So I'm going to represent that with an x. We don't know it. And reminder, cosine, it's adjacent over hypotenuse. So I'm going to say 5 over 14. Okay. So to solve for our angle, we have to use the inverse. So I'm going to say x equals, we're going to say the inverse of cosine, so the cosine with that little negative I or negative 1 up there, and then 514. Ethan? Okay, so now grab your calculator, and you're going to use that inverse. If you want me to show you on your calculator, I can certainly do that. So you're going to hit second, cosine, and then you're going to do 5 over 14. Again, we won't know right away if you are in degrees or radians. The only way we'll know is if you get the same answers as me. Okay. Now, reminder, today we're finding degrees, so our answers are going to be probably a little bit larger than yesterday. And just like yesterday, we are also going to round. Okay. And because we're finding angles, how do we label angles? Degrees, yeah. So when we round this one, when we figure this one out, we are going to get x equals 69.08, and we'll label it with degrees. Did you get that on your calculator? If you did not, double check, are you in degrees? Okay. That's basically it. That's what we're doing today. Way easier than yesterday, correct? That we don't have to like solve it and cross products and all of that stuff. Okay. Let's do the next one. This time our angle is up here. So that means we have the adjacent and we have the opposite. So if we have adjacent and opposite, that means we're going to use tangent. Yep. So I'm going to have the tangent of, we don't know the angle, so I'm going to use an x. And remember, it's TOA, so it's opposite over adjacent. Okay. So again, to find this, we're going to use the inverse. If you want, ladies and gentlemen, just to kind of be easier to put into your calculator, what is 7/10? What's 7 divided by 10? 0.7. So you can certainly plug in 7/10, or you could also just plug in 0.7. That might be just easier to plug into your calculator. Both are going to give you the same answer. It's just one might be easier than the other. Okay. And again, make sure you're rounding. We're finding angles, so make sure you put degrees. And I'm getting 34.99 degrees. Okay. What do you guys think? Liking this way more than yesterday? Yeah, way, way faster. All right, so if we've used cosine and tan, what do you think the last one's going to be? Sine, yeah. All right, so this one, our angle is down here. I'm giving you the opposite, and I'm giving you hypotenuse. So, y. So, yep, we know we're using sine. So I'm going to have sine x opposite over hypotenuse, and we're going to do the inverse. .23. Okay. All right, that's the majority of your homework. Can you handle it? Okay. Now, obviously, our next problems, keep in mind, we're really doing this to help you get ready for the ACTs and MCAs, and most of the ACTs and MCAs are really word problems. Okay. So as I look at this next problem, they do give us a picture, but we really have to read what do they want from us. So it says you are building a wheelchair ramp. So as we know, that's going to form an angle. And we don't want the height of it to be more than 1 inch. We also know the length of it is going to be a foot. We want to know what the maximum angle is to make it off the ground. Okay. So I'm going to take the picture that they gave us, and I'm just going to kind of bring it down here to kind of help us out. Okay, so we want to know what this angle is, because obviously if it's too high, people would fall out of their chairs, and if it's too low, they wouldn't go anywhere, right? Our one side that they gave us is 1 inch, and this is 1 foot. What's wrong with that right now? We're in different units. So right now, if we use 1 and 1, we'd get a terrible answer. So what do I have to do to the 1 foot? Convert it. Yeah, so 1 foot is really, yep, 12 inches. Okay. So now we want to find the angle. Based off the two things that I gave you, we should use tangent, okay? So I'm going to say tangent of angle x that we don't know. Reminder, it's going to be opposite over adjacent. Thank you, sir. And so we're going to have 1 over 12. To help us, we're going to do inverse. Keep in mind it's going to be a rather small angle. Now there's something I didn't clarify when I read this the first time. What do they want us to round it to? It says 10th. We're going to round it to the 10th. Okay. Guys, remember on the MCAs, it's on the computer and you can type in answers. So if you don't read that and you put in like 5 decimal places, will you already be marked wrong? Yeah, so make sure you're really reading the directions. So they say 10th. So when we write the answer to this, we're going to say x equals 4.8 degrees. Okay. You have a couple of these on your homework. Can we handle this? Yes, yes, okay. All right, our last two now are a combination of everything that we've done in the last 2 days. We're going to use all of our skills of finding sides and angles, okay? So what this says is we're going to solve for the triangle. What that means is we're going to solve for every side and every angle. So you should have 3 sides, 3 angles. Now what's nice is they're going to give you some stuff, so obviously you're not going to find everything. Something I need you to remember from geometry, what does a triangle angle add up to? 180. So I need you to keep that in mind, and that's also really nice. If we know 2 of the angles, does that kind of help you find that last angle? Yeah, we always know for ones like these, we're always going to be given this angle. What is this angle? 90 degrees. So we know that's always going to be 90 degrees, okay? So let's take a look at what we have. We have 2 sides, so we know we have to find a 3rd side, and we also know we have to have 2 angles, okay? I'm going to start with just what we're working on today. I'm going to find this angle first, the B angle. I'm about to write some geometry stuff. Here we go. We're going to find angle B. That hurt me emotionally a little bit. All right, so we're going to find angle B. Based off what I gave you, what are we going to use? I have opposite and hypotenuse, so we're going to use sine. Yep. So I'm going to say sine, and just to kind of help us stay organized, I'm just going to use the letter B just so I know what I'm finding right now. So we're going to say sine B, and we're going to use opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to have 8 over 11. And a reminder, what we're really doing is I'm doing B equals inverse sine 8 over 11. Okay, again, round. Yeah, Tyler B? You certainly could. Yeah, Tyler, this is why I really like these. It didn't really matter what order we solved these in. Maybe someone was like, I'm going to solve for that last side first. I'm going to solve for angle A first. As long as, Tyler, I have an answer for each one, I don't really care what order you did it in. All right, so for angle B, is everybody getting 46.66 degrees? Yeah, okay, thank God. Okay. All right, so that is our first answer. I'm just going to write it here just to kind of help us stay organized. So now, if I know two of my angles, can I easily find my third angle? Yeah. So I'm going to say angle A. I'm not going to do this stuff here. I'm going to say angle A equals 180 minus if I add my other two angles that we just found. Okay. So I'm going to take 180 minus 90 plus 46.66. And yeah, I'm just gonna write it up here just to kind of help us again stay organized. I'm getting 43.34. That's an ugly looking 3. Okay, everyone's okay with that. All right, so now we have all three of our angles. Our only side that we have to find is this side down here. We have to find the CB side. Again, more geometry writing. Ugh. Okay, we have multiple ways we could use this. We could use our sine, tangent, cosine, all of that. But do we have another formula that we reviewed yesterday that could help us find a missing side? The Pythagorean theorem. Yeah. So right now, I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem to help us find that missing side. Reminder, your hypotenuse, your longest side is always your C. So for this one, our C is 11. And does it matter how you plug in the A and the B? No, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to say 8 squared plus B squared. All right. So we know 8 squared is going to be 64. The 11 squared is 121. We're going to subtract the 64. We're going to get 57. And then to get rid of the square, we're going to square root. Yesterday, I let you leave them like this. Today, let's, just in case we need to practice this, let's take the square root of 57. And we're going to say that side, or really our side CB, sorry, side CB, is going to equal 7.55. Yeah. All right, so now we have all three sides. We have all three angles. So we are done. Okay. Are you guys okay if we skip the last one? Yeah, all right. All right.